Web3 nomads. Everywhere jobs for anywhere people.
Okay, we're back. Good morning, good afternoon, good local time.
Hello, hello.
So the bull market's back, right?
100%, 100K, nothing else.
There's nothing. No, did you not see the charts that I posted? It's definitely going to 350K by the end of November. Didn't you see that?
Let's go.
So yeah, I think we're just gonna focus on wider markets, where the next capital rotation and flow goes. I think that's quite a good one. And bring up some charts there as well in the meantime.
It really does seem like, obviously we spoke about it at the end of last week. The strength that we've seen. Wow. We haven't seen in like what, over a year now, and when Bitcoin does this kind of thing, it's easy to kind of get into this PTSD mode and think, okay, well, it's just a question of when is it going to go back down again? But we've just seen such incredible strength. Cairo actually posted yesterday, obviously Cairo is like the eternal bull. I love that guy. He's always positive, and he just basically stated fact and said that we've been in this whole PTSD mode where it's all about not going to sleep with a position and selling out and living on edge. And he says that seems to be coming to an end now, where you can actually hold something without waking up with this impending disaster and doom. And it's such a change, such a shift, irrespective of whether, we might believe that this is a bear market rally and, it's just a matter of time before it hits 24,320 and then goes straight back down to 15K. That's obviously what everyone's expecting, but we know that could probably not happen. Whatever we expect, the opposite happens. So let's see. It's looking good. It's looking very good.
Look how perfect that was. These were drawn months and months and months. Look how perfect that's at. It blows my mind stuff like that.
Heaven, eh? Look at that.
Just to reclaim, flip kind of regular resistance, diagonal as well. It's incredible how this stuff works. But it also kind of what Caroline was saying before, where we use traditional TA methods to kind of find out where the regular percentage of people would put their stop losses and where their targets are and things like that, which is obvious. But what else? Should we have a quick look at Vitalik coin before we move on to some more exciting, even though Ethereum is quite exciting at the minute. Looks great. Again, it's that 1,724K mark, isn't it? That's what it is. That's all anyone's looking at, I think. I think we'll test it. That might be good time to take a little bit off.
Just something that I've picked up, like particularly over the last couple of weeks, with the guys who are really trading these moves well. There's a couple of guys out there that are absolutely killing it. Is that they've just been super patient. Like they identify, something that has relevance, and then they put their money in and they just sit and patiently wait. And even the guys that are scalping and doing that kind of stuff, it's just, at the moment, it's almost like we're back to, take your dart out and throw it at the board, and you're just a matter of time before you hit, and I think, obviously we're going to chat about where the potential moves are next. But in fairness, without wanting to larp too much around it, is I think you can't really miss right now. If it's been relevant in the past and there's good community behind it, I think there's a good chance it's going to hit.
Just look at Aptos. I feel like Aptos is like the secret winner that everybody hates, but it's like 3-4x from the lows, which for like a top 100 coin is actually pretty good.
It's 5x.
That's mental, isn't it?
It's mental.
And what's interesting, Axie had their unlock yesterday, but that's still pumping.
I don't understand that. If someone could explain it to me, please do.
It's the new meta. It's the new meta. Put it in the newsletter. Like, the new meta is token unlocks becoming extremely bullish. You saw, like, so Axie's pumped, Stargate's pumped, DYDX is pumped. There's a bunch of others as well. I don't get the logic, but
you've got to think when you see a token unlock, depending on what the type of people that are on your cap table and the team, like, you can quite openly say to the team, look, this position's got too large. Do you know anyone who's interested? Buy an OTC on the next unlock or prior to the unlock or whatever, if the tokens are transferable. But it doesn't all just get sold on the market as much as people would like to think that. And that's kind of a very short-sighted way. And what will happen there is unsophisticated market operators will say, oh, big unlock, let's put a big short on Axie. Funding rate will go mental. And then all it takes is some effective spot market buys, drive the price up, trap a few shorts in that, and then you just kind of get this short squeeze. So it tends to what happened. It doesn't necessarily stay sustained, but you just got to just think a couple of moves ahead. You can't just think of an idea and then think one step ahead. You need to be 3 and 4, 5 steps down the road, I think. You go into trades like that, particularly if they're all over Twitter, because you're just fresh meat for people who are more experienced, I think. But Aptos just didn't miss it. Just missed it completely. Wasn't spending enough time on centralized exchanges to watch volumes and stuff, but been having fun on chain anyway. So
OP had its run as well. People have probably forgotten about it, but watch, it's going to land up doing another run again. Same with Solana. Everyone wrote Solana off. Obviously, we didn't. We've had first-hand experience of that community and what it's about, and it's just, I think this thing's going to run again. I really do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because they've got their airdrop coming soon, and I think like all this like on-chain activity is probably like people sibling it just to try and show their activity on there. But I would see this being able to have like a monster run leading into the next airdrop that's coming. I mean, just look at that wick. Jesus Christ. You're up at 2.8. Mate, you'd have got wrecked on that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think they've just had some kind of network upgrade as well, which is pretty good. Still think Arbitrum have outplayed them with regards to the community building. Like, Arbitrum's the cool place to be, isn't it? But it doesn't take long for people to switch their opinions. Everyone knows what that's like in this space. Like, much as I think Avalanche will come back very, very strong, it's like Avalanche was the cool destination last summer.
Yeah,
that's where everyone traded. That's where the activity was, and primarily because of incentives, and it was making people an awful lot of money. So these things can flip. You can't hold your biases too tightly, I think, particularly in this space.
I mean, the thing about Arbitrum, it's like for the cool kids right now, eh?
Yeah, that's a really strange and weird one to. There's no out of the box solution to manifest and cultivate that type of way that you're perceived by the wider. Even in the regular world, if you had a product, is it a cool product? Like Monzo did really well in the UK. Everyone wanted to be seen to use Monzo. They had a bright orange card. Purposely built it that way to be like, oh, what's that? But it cultivated this kind of weird kind of community, and it happens in this space as well, but on steroids. But it's, I think Andrew and some of the guys there have definitely helped, but I felt like it was already having that kind of aura about it prior to the whole marketing push and things. So really strange one. Can't really put my finger on it. If you could bottle it and sell it, Jesus Christ, you could make billions. But yeah, I don't know.
So Rocketpool, that's another one. That's just, you've been going on about Rocketpool for 4 weeks now. It's just one of
That
those
is months.
that just
Absolute months. I remember you like first spoke about it like before the merge happened, like way back when.
Yeah, if you go back and listen to some of those
Just-
old episodes, you'll definitely hear us talking about it then. This was the Binance listing here on the 18th. Have you seen the chain checkers bringing up the? Did we include that in the newsletter? Or was it another newsletter I read? Basically, someone purchasing prior to the announcement and then selling maybe enough immediately after. Funds were onboarded through OKX, I believe.
Yeah, I put it in our Discord in like the Might Be Something channel, and like the guy bought, I think it was like 200K's worth, like 10 minutes before the Binance listing. 10 minutes later, dumped his bag and like made about 60K US on that one trade in 10 minutes.
Damn. But someone's got to list it.
Yeah, of course.
There's that information definitely gets passed through hands before it goes live. But people have to be super careful with that shit. The Coinbase guys got done for it. I think they've been prosecuted. The OpenSea front end developer got done for it. I suppose Binance are a bit all over the place, aren't they? So there's no kind of regulatory scrutiny around that. But yeah, Rocketpool's been great. It's back up to, like, when this candle happened, I looked at my portfolio and thought it was like lagging out. Thought, oh shit, what's happening here? I thought it was just like a weird one because it was a quite sizable allocation. But now we're back up to those prices, so all is good. I think they're going to come on podcast as well. We've got, apart from Lido, we've got all of the top ones coming on. So I might get Carvas to come on as well, just to have different opinions across the board and see what the different kind of USPs are for each. Stakewise are literally recording with them in 30 minutes, and then Stata are going to come on as well.
Ooh, Alpha.
So that's SD, right? Stata's SD also done really well. I like SD.
I'm happy with this one. I'm really happy with this one.
You also call this one.
This has got legs. This has definitely got legs still. Not financial advice or anything, but take that shit off. But yeah, what's 15 million? I think if you go back 2 shows when we did the LSD show, I think it was like 7. Not saying it's the fastest horse in the market. Obviously, Aptos has outperformed it, but certainly one of them. And as I say, 15 mil. And it's not just they've definitely got their Ethereum product coming out, so their staked Ethereum product. But these guys have got any proof of stake chain. They've got liquid staking assets for that as well. So if you believe any of these other chains and the narrative around blockchain, then it's also a good play. But pretty sure we'll cover them a little bit more in detail. But yeah, it's been performing really, really well. All dips just getting constantly eaten, so good volume coming in as well.
Thoughts on Matic? I keep on seeing Matic come up on my feed on Twitter, and I just wanted to get your thoughts around Matic. I haven't really looked. I'm genuinely just asking because I'm curious. Haven't looked at it.
I think the pump is pending.
Okay. It really does look that, huh? Wow, okay. I can see why people are getting excited.
That was Matic ETH, so this is... I mean, I think it's just people
More
are
of the
looking
same.
at... Yeah, it's like up, 25% or something, and then people are probably looking at different ecosystems that did extremely well, that haven't moved or had the kind of day in the sun whilst everything else is moving around it. But I don't think that's a bad play, really. I think there's a stronger one, which we can come on to next, which I have a whole idea around. Yes, I do have a position, so take that with a grain of salt, whatever I will say. But Mike's always a good one. I don't know. In an uptrend market like this, if they were to announce some of their ridiculous BD partnership deals they do, I don't know how well that does. I don't know how well that does in these markets now. Like back in the day, it used to be that shit had send a project like 2 and 3x. Obviously, Mike's got a ridiculous market cap, but it feels like we've been a bit saturated by these BD deals at the minute. I don't know how useful they actually are, to be honest. Quite divided on that whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't see the BD deals really pushing it. I mean, if you look at Solana, they had, or even Avax had that big both of them had big announcement of like Amazon Web Services or just like Amazon in general, and people are like, meh, whatever. Next. It's like if Amazon can't pump your bags.
Yeah, I know. And I mean I think Solana's just going to continue.
Yeah, I tell you what.
I mean, if we flip this like 26 level, then
mate, that Matic chart is actually looking really strong. We're literally like teaching on the edge. Like if it breaks that 1.05 mark, looks like it will absolutely fly back to 1.3. Damn.
Yeah. Got to be careful to be outperforming ETH in these markets as well. I think people spend a lot of time and attention trying to play the rotation game, and I've definitely been victim of this many a time. But save stress, you could just be holding ETH a lot of the time and still be winning. But I think Sol's still got legs, still drastically undervalued. If there's capital still flowing into the markets, then there's no reason that doesn't push higher as well.
Stablecoin chart, please. Can you bring that up? I think that's quite relevant in terms of what's been happening.
Can I show you an old stablecoin USDT dominance chart that I had from ages ago?
Yes, please
bring it up your end.
So, present, share screen, window, bosh. So truth be told, I've not really done any trading for a long time, so it's been quite nice to go to like some of the old charts. I tell you what, I'm really pissed off that I did fumble my Fantom bag because that just mooned. But I drew this and I put this in Discord a while ago. So I marked off a couple of like key areas in the chart. So you had this candle here, and then we had this one here, and then obviously we've got these ones here. So essentially, when it's like a big bright green or blue, that's a lot of like market makers pushing the volume up. And what's interesting with like the USDT dominance chart is basically like when it goes up, that means people are dumping their bags. And then when chart comes down, that means people are just, aping in massively. So you can see we've recovered all of these areas on the chart. And this is the final one for now that we're looking at recovering. So from a charting point of view, I'd expect the USDT dominance chart to come down to like 6.38 as a final test. But if we can break here and we can literally just fall off a cliff, then you've got stuff here done at like 4%. And like this area here is just like straight up altcoin season, freaking send it to the moon, baby. Like we want these BCs just pushing it down, man.
You want that EMA cross to happen quite soon as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any perspective around, like, in terms of past bear market rallies, how this is comparing to those in terms of rotation, first of all, and in terms of that USDT dominance? I mean, obviously the two will be very much tied, but I get the feeling that there's almost like there's more of a rotation game going on in this bear market rally and over a more extended period of time as opposed to what we've had in the past. I'm just wondering whether you guys have perspective around that.
When was the last bear market rally? What month was that?
The merge, going into the merge.
Going into the merge, yeah.
September?
The last decent one where I nearly got everything back from the bull market and then completely fucked the job because it kind of caught me offside how quickly the narrative died, even though it was the biggest thing to happen in the space. But lived to tell the tale, I suppose.
I mean,
I think I
was gonna say, like, if you look at the USDT dominance chart, let me just bring it back up. Boom, boom. Here, so I think it was like June, July, August that we had that bear market rally last year, And if you can see, this is like a lot slower and a lot longer here, where people were very slowly like deploying stables, whoop, took profit, deploy stables, whoop, took profit, deploy, whoop, all the way down. Here, it literally is, and you see this on the charts as well. Come, just zoom in a little bit. Come literally like New Year's Day, people were like, whoop, deploy, deploy, deploy. You know, Grant, you had your boredom sentiment somewhere, I think here, like 6, 7, 8, yeah.
The ultimate indicator.
Look, dude, that candle there on January the 4th, that was you. That was you deploying. And then look, everybody listened to you who got bored, and we've just come down in a lot more of a violent move. And what we do know from violent moves is they violently move one way and then they violently move the other way. So the way my brain would be working now is, let's get the old rectangle. By the way, I could be completely wrong and I could be talking absolute nonsense, but we've got kind of like these candles and like this zone that at some stage I'd expect us to go boom, recover, boom, maybe like that. So
yeah, it's an
boom,
interesting one.
Boom, boom.
I mean, you've got the bears who are very much okay. It's run its course now. It's run its course. 23,100. We're going back to 20 grand, and then it's going to go to 23.5. And I think the big test from your chart, Grant, was, what was it? 23.2. Just bring up your chart quickly again. You've got a line in there. 24.3, is it?
2.6.
It was the same as that 20,000, 20,500, where everyone was like, "Yo, major resistance," and it just went through it like insanely fast.
Everyone just talks rubbish. No, I don't know why they do that. Where the hell is it gone? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I'll bring this up now.
And I've got a really interesting chart on the SPX as well. I'll show you guys afterwards.
Yeah, like 24.3-ish.
24.3, yeah.
Well, you'd probably say from 24 to 24.3, but
that's the one. And then there was obviously the 20.5, which just went straight through. And I think this 24.3 is the one. I think that's going to really determine whether we go to 30. Where's the next one? Have you put it in?
This is interesting.
Yeah, the dominance chart's been, I mean, it's Bitcoin's been dominating big time, man.
Yeah. Again, it just catches people offside. A lot of people are worried about following the merge kind of security issues or kind of regulatory issues around Ethereum, but I think it's a bit of a nothing burger, to be honest. But yeah, particularly when everyone was calling for the the flipping into happen. I think it will happen one day. Dan, have you got that S&P chart? Because I'm interested to see that as well.
Yeah. So this, I added this into the newsletter, like on the, I think it was like the first one of the year, because I wanted to see like kind of what happened. So this is the S&P, the SPX. So back in 2020, we obviously had like this monster run up, and then come 2022, I wanted to find out kind of like what actually happened at the start of the year, because last year was just, it was shite. It was just down the whole time. Like there was literally fucking no up at all. Now we had like a big drop in January last year, which was just shy of 12.5%. So I put on here, to get to one of our first major areas of resistance, we would need just like an 8% move. Now, what if we inverse the start of this year, where, you know, we dumped last year, which is normally what should happen, but if we pump this year, getting back, and in theory, if we just zoom in a little bit more, we are kind of like on our way to make a massive like 8% gain on the S&P. I personally, like, again, could be completely wrong. I think we're going to get to this 4,100 and test it for a third time, Because look, we tested it here, kind of like failed as a failed Christmas rally. Tried it again, failed Christmas rally. I think by the end of this month, which will take us up to here on this box, I think we're going to see a test here. So maybe come up, back down to the downward sloping, and then just make that next leg up. And if we can, you're wanting to be looking at kind of like this red vector candle here, where the market makers, boom, pushed it down to then coming up to this like 42, maybe 4,300. So I think, and like I've said this, you know, in Discord a few times, and had a few conversations with Ishi about it, who's like a perma bear. I was like, look, you know, I think we're going to get this rally up to here, to 4,100. And it's looking strong so far.
I mean, yesterday was interesting because we've seen. So this comes back to, you know, what I've been vocal about for a while is the strength in what Bitcoin has displayed over the last 3-4 weeks. In that, the big concern yesterday was that resistance point on that slope, right? So it actually, when trading started yesterday, I mean, I was watching it, and it essentially looked like it was going to ricochet back down again. I was like, maybe it doesn't have the strength. And then it actually, like, I think it was on the 30-minute chart, it was kind of like chilling, and then it just freaking punched straight through, and then it didn't look back. And it really does look like, I mean, we had a little bit of a retrace yesterday if I look at the daily candle at the moment on my right-hand screen here, but there's intention for it to keep on moving. And it'll be really interesting to see whether it does break that 4,100. And I think if it does, it's going to do exactly what you're saying. And I think that's what someone posted. I don't know who it was. Like, the entire financial market from crypto to TARD-FI is looking at one sloping line on a chart.
Yeah, the most important part of that move is definitely on the retest if we can hold as support.
So you had
it's good for us.
Yeah, Grant, you had a little bit of a concern before we started stream, and we're seeing a lot of activity in the METIS ecosystem. You were a little bit concerned. Well, I hope this isn't a bit of a top. I don't think so. I think there's a whole lot of unrealized value in that ecosystem, despite the issues that it's had. There's some great projects there. I mean, you got Hermes, you got Hermes, you got Maia DAO. The Maia DAO guys, I mean, we're working with them on content and the rest of it, and they're legends, dude. I mean, they are, for me, like, they are exemplary DeFi. Cool. They're the DeFi kings. I mean, in terms of how DeFi should be done, they just do it properly, man. Everything goes to proposal, everything goes to community. I mean, they don't scratch their heads without consulting their community. It's really something incredible to see. You know, like, if you want to see how to do DeFi in its purest form, just go and see what these anons are doing, the frogs. I mean, they are real frogs. But I think there's serious value in that ecosystem. I mean, in that project, they're moving to Arbitrum now as well. I just can't speak highly enough about them. These guys are on it, and I just hope they completely shoot the lights out. They deserve it. Great project that. So yeah, I'm looking at them. I mean, they've seen tremendous growth over the last 2 days. You know, they've kind of like been flatlining for months, you know, like just sitting on one line. And it's so nice to see, you know, all that consolidation starting to come to fruition now. And I think them going to Arbitrum is going to do massive for their project. And, you know, 61%. And METIS as well, you know, even though there's been issues with that ecosystem, I think that's also at $25 or whatever it is. It's also seen quite a big growth, 104%.
You can't fade Vitalik's mum, eh?
I don't know. I've got some theories around that, but I'm not going to discuss them now. But we'll definitely come back to that. I think METIS has been too cautious in terms of how they've approached participants that want to enter the ecosystem from their grants program. And I know that Vitalik's mom has been kind of like the head honcho on that. And I think they would have done better to be more relaxed and more kind of like giving for projects wanting to come into the ecosystem. But when you got bear markets, you can't blame people for being overly cautious. I mean, it's so difficult to make the right decisions in a bear market, so you can't fade them on that as well. So there's definitely two sides to that coin.
Yeah, they've got a fat treasury though. I think they should have been helping out with community incentives and grants a lot more than they have, because there's some great builders over there, and I just don't think that it's as an attractive place to go and build at the minute as it should be, because you want composability for these new kind of applications that are getting built, and you want composability. Where you're going to go Arbitrum at the minute, hence the Hermes and the Maia guys going over there.
Check the Maia chart. I totally agree with you, Grant. It is about that. It's kind of like you've got to put rocket fuel in the engine, and it just hasn't been. It hasn't been there. I mean, that's also looking great, isn't it?
Jeez, God.
Jesus Christ!
No,
the METIS chart's the same, dude. If you look at
Oh my god, dude!
yeah, dude.
Where is it? Dude, I've got better looking shit coins that got rugged than that. What is that?
It's because it started as an own fork, so like hyper emissions.
But they sorted that out. This is what's so cool about these guys, is that this thing started out as an own fork and they've completely reinvented it, and now they're continuing to do it. I mean, we've done some articles on what they've done. This is a great story, and yeah, these guys, like I said, I just can't wait to see them completely make a success of this. I mean, from a development point of view, they already have. It's just a matter of whether everyone else out there recognizes it and gets stuck in. There's good yields here. This is a great project.
They just need to be in the right environment,
which is what they're doing. They've seen it and they're going now. So they're going to the right place, and I think they're going to be doing some really good numbers into the future.
As far as I know, there's no solidly fork on Arbitrum. And
it isn't.
Even if there was, what tends to happen with forks is you start out a few minor applications that no one can really tell the difference of, but V2 Hermes is on its way, and if you haven't read it yet, go and read the article on blockmates.com, because those guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Just thoughts.
One chart could you bring up? Could you bring up like the OHM chart, the GOHM, because I've been seeing a little bit more chatter around them on Twitter recently. So it'd be interesting just to see what the actual chart looks. Nah, still shit.
Yeah. Cursed. It's never going to shirk its connotation, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
They've linked up with Aurora, so they're going to be buying like $1 million worth of Aurora over the next 6 months. You've obviously got like they're good friends with Bearer Chain, which clearly isn't real because it's still not launched. So biggest scam in the world. So it's going to be interesting to see if somebody somewhere can make OHM great again. But it's
I'm
interesting.
not going to hold my breath on that one. They've got a fat treasury though. Like it's actually ridiculous the size of the treasury, but I don't know. I think Aura's undervalued dramatically. 43 million, 122 FTV. But I could be interested in this post-Shanghai, I think, as incentive rewards boost up and balances start pushing incentives towards all the pools, and then Aura obviously acts as a yield aggregator on top of that. So this could be a really good one. If you've got the patience to wait out or just solely DCA post Shanghai, I think Aura will do really well.
I told you guys, you want to make money in this market, be patient. Like really, really be patient. It's just, I've seen it with so many guys. It's just like they have conviction, they make the call, nothing happens for like a month, and then next thing they're fucking 5x. It's like, how did that happen? I've just been patient.
But then there's us, we got the patience of a freaking prune.
Well, it comes down to what Grant said last year. He said, well, I can either throw money at this market and hope that I get it right, or I can focus that attention on building a business. Guess which one we chose?
Yeah.
Threw shit at a wall
I
and it's
think-
apparently like pumping.
Yeah, X-Mon also on my picks as well. I like what this has done. You've called this one as well. It's doing tremendous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just watching the order flows come in. I think with so much focus on like liquid staking derivatives at the minute, it just seemed a bit of an obscure order flow to be going into a NFT fi product. So ideally the lock drop gets announced pretty soon. And then we start seeing the Sudo token on the market and seeing how well that does. But I won't hold my breath. These guys are notoriously thorough with everything they do. Sometimes can be connotated as slow, but they need to get it right because they've got a great product. So I think this can do well. I don't know how I'll play this one. Probably sell half into the lock drop and then lock half. We'll see.
Yeah, and if you are by the way, if you are in the Discord, I found a very good wallet. Like this guy bought Xmon literally at the lows between like 10 and 11k. He also like bought Stargate right before it popped. So if you are in our Discord, we have been, sharing smart wallets and smart plays as well.
We should do there's plenty on the market, but some of them are complete dog shit. We should do a smart wallet standard operating procedure and give it away to maybe
5
we do no maybe we do it as a bit of give and take. Maybe we do someone refers our newsletter to someone and that person signs up, they can have that document, that PDF.
Yeah, I'm keen. This is really annoying because I fumbled my Fantom bag. Really pissed off about that.
I'm happy.
So I think Fantom is going to do big moves. I think it's going to
Phantom's
continue
going back
doing
to
this.
greatness again.
Definitely.
They've got the conference this week. Andre's talking about scaling. He's talking about gaming infrastructure. Also, what I noted as well, it's quite interesting if we do some public maths. Right, what circulant supply are we at now? 2.5 billion. I was looking at the issuance since like all-time high. So
Wow.
I think we've only had like 10% inflation or 15% inflation, whereas a lot of projects have had 20, 30. And what I was saying, I can't remember who posted about Stargate this week, but effectively, Stargate obviously has had a really good move this week, sat around $65. But Stargate at its market cap all-time high, there was like 35 million tokens or whatever there was. So what we at now? Circulating supply is 135. So at its market cap all-time high of like $4.20, I believe. Got a fly hanging around me. So when it hit 414, there were only 35 million Stargate tokens on the market. There's now 135. So at that, trying to work out if 4.2 times more tokens are on the market, the price back to markup all time high is going to be
$1.
So that's why it was a good. Don't get me wrong, it's a great swing, but to get back to perceptual levels of $4, market cap's going to have to be like 600 million.
The thing is, Grant, surely Aptos is a really good indicator as to how rationality and logic just means absolutely nothing. I mean, what value does Aptos actually really bring? Let's actually dissect this thinking now, because do you know of any good projects on Aptos? I mean, it's kind of like Carbongo the same thing? Like, are there really any projects out there that we've ever spoken about or that we recognize as being relevant in the space, like yield aggregation, regardless, like just in its simplest form of what DeFi or crypto does? I don't know of any projects on Carbongo, yet it's valued at what, like $1 gazillion. Like, how is that
It's
even
it's valued at peanuts. Look at the token. Token is only down.
But what is the market cap on that thing?
I think it's still like
What
top 6.
Aptos was like 2 billion.
No, Carbongo, dude. Like, just go to Cardano. What is the market cap on Cardano at the moment?
Yeah, Pancake Swap's on Aptos.
PancakeSwap's part of an ecosystem or a chain that's relevant in terms of usage, and there's freaking millions of people that use that thing. I'm talking about rationality around value. Like, what is the rationality around Aptos's value right now?
Mate, this is crypto. There is no rationality. Fundamentals don't mean a lot. Even in like TradFi markets, fundamentals still don't mean too much.
What is the value of Carbongo at the moment, Grant? Like 30 billion or something stupid like that.
Yeah, we'll finish on the bombshell of Carbongo, just because we are such big fans. Wow, up 2%, Moonin. Send it.
13.
So it's
13
13.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, so can somebody please explain to me why it's valued at that versus, you know, something like Stargate that actually has a use?
Because Charles
Cult-
Hopkins
cults.
and his cult leadership, and
It's
the
insane.
Carbongo degens who have been holding since $3.50.
Can you also explain to me what projects are happening on Aptos at the moment so that we can make sense
I think
of
they're
what's
having like
going
an NFT season on there. I think that's why that's pumping. Plus, like the chart just looks strong. So as we're in a PvP rotation game, regardless of what actual, you know, network or project it is, like it's gonna pump. If it looks like it's breaking out, people are gonna buy it. They don't care about projects or fundamentals, right?
Yeah. Look, I think we'll wrap up there. I've got the Stakewise guys coming on now. I don't want to be late for that. So, yeah, we'll be back Friday. Newsletter is below. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Just shifted over to Beehive as our newsletter provider. Go and have a look at what that looks like. And if you do have your own newsletter as well, I'd consider checking them out. It's been a complete joy to use. The migration was simple. Dan loves it, so everyone's happy. But yeah, thanks again, and we'll be back Friday for some more shenanigans.
NFT Perp interview coming up as well. Be sure to check that out. Brilliant stuff. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take it easy.